I have to say, we're living through strange and difficult times. I'm still recovering from yesterday's January 6th presentation, through which we saw mostly what we already knew, but with yet more detail, pointing to the totally obvious culpability of the Mar-a-Lago criminal, who apparently, after the proceedings, used his very ironically named Truth Social network to insult Mitch McConnell, calling him a disloyal sleazebag. But I have to ask, who do you know to be the king of all disloyal sleazebags? Who would that be? Pretty obvious answer, right? In any case, strange times in that here I am praising Liz Cheney for her role in the proceedings, a person with whom I totally disagree on policy, and yet, in this matter, she's definitely doing the right thing. She's doing it very well, very expertly. She's doing a fabulous job. The point of this video is to examine what is going on with her astrologically. And as to the detail, I'm going to be taking this up in this weekend's Patreon class, for those who like astrology detail. But here I will tell you that in addition to what I've said in the past, and you can find my videos, if you search the channel and put in the word Cheney, you'll get all the Liz Cheney videos. As she's going toward her Wyoming primary, August 16th, and keep in mind the way this works is her primary against her main opponent, someone named Harriet Hageman. That primary decides who then runs in the November election to have that seat, to either keep it in the case of Cheney or give it up to Hageman, because in Wyoming a Democrat isn't going to win. It's extremely unlikely. So her political future hangs in the balance as of August 16. Current polls have Hageman up 22 points, which would mean she is extremely unlikely to lose to Liz Cheney. It's that simple. The gap is huge. And yet, when I look at Liz Cheney's chart, on the Jupiter transit alone, I have to say, it's extremely unusual astrology for a person to go down on defeat under that kind of aspect. And when I look further, I do find a couple of counterpoints that might point to Liz Cheney losing, but the majority of the added data supports a victory. And yet, the polls say otherwise. When I look at Hageman's chart, I don't have a birth time the way I do for Liz. But Hageman's chart doesn't look all that victorious. It's okay at best. There are plenty of problems there to signify a loss. And so I'm wondering what's going on. This is really putting astrology to the test. Perhaps it could mean that if Liz Cheney loses, she has some kind of bright career prospects after that. That's one possibility. But I have to say that I don't think she wants to lose this one, because this, for one thing, would allow, you know, the orange cockroach to crow and start flapping around with his insults and his victory cries, for one thing. But overall, it would be hugely positive for Liz Cheney to hang on to her seat at this point in her career, I think. And so I'm a little mystified by the way the current situation looks in relation to the astrology. So we're going to have to see what happens in a few weeks. Perhaps it's, as I've read in a few places, that it will be Democrats to the rescue, since, as it turns out, in Wyoming, anyone can vote. It's not just a primary for Republicans. Anyone can vote. Though I'm not sure how that fits into the polls. No idea. So we're going to keep an eye on this one for sure. And as I say, I'll be doing the astrology in my Patreon class, and then I will post parts of that analysis on the channel as well.